As I look over the American landscape here, there are some things that, I'm a pragmatist. One of the things that has always been very apparent to me is things are not by chance. They don't happen by accident. I'm 57 years old. I haven't seen any supreme being, any Messiah, any God come down and do shit. Things happen because people facilitate an environment that allows it to happen. It's not a fucking accident. It's just not. Things have a reason. There's cause, there's effect. Things happen because people have allowed it and have helped move it along. We are where we are, not by chance. This has been going on. If you look over the American landscape of the last 20, 25, 30 years, we have reduced every issue, every argument, every point in this country down to two sides: Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. From everything: sports, entertainment, technology, global warming. It's two sides, and we all play along with this. Oh yeah, it's only two sides. Oh, Republican, Democrat. Oh yeah. Well, how has that served us? We have elected Democrats. When we get a chance to elect somebody, what have they done for us? We stand right now at the precipice of the greatest economic malaise this country has ever seen. Why is that? You can't blame it all on George Bush. Hey, I remember when Clinton, who's the only president in the last 25 years, Democrat, that was elected twice. He showed this model. Remember Carter, who was actually a little more to the left, but he had been villainized, was not elected again? Clinton was. What did he do for us? He gave us NAFTA, and he gave us welfare reform. That's what he gave us. Everyone liked NAFTA? Because this is it. This is what we got from NAFTA, what we see right now. And remember all the language that they were pontificating at the time? Oh, it's a new world economic system. We're going to take care of everybody. Oh, it's going to be free trade. Everything's going to be rosy for everybody. Well, this is fucking it. This is NAFTA. This is great. This is what we got from the Democrats. We have followed along and listened to them, and this is what we got. This is what they've given us. Labor is going to have to run our own candidates and stand up and do what is right. We're the only ones. These Democrats, it's the end of Orwell's Animal Farm book. When you open that door, in that room, everybody sitting around that table is a goddamn millionaire. They all got very nice suits on. Like I said, I'm 57 years old. I remember when Castro came to the United States the first time. He stayed in Harlem in the Teresa Hotel. He came wearing fatigues. He was the only fucking guy around the room who wasn't in a suit. These things are not accidents, folks. We elect these people, they spout this stuff, there's no accountability. Let's give another example of the Democrats. Look at the fiasco in Massachusetts. Like I said, I'm 57 years old. That seat has been held by a Democrat ever since I was grasping air on this planet. That seat had been held by a Democrat. Do you understand that? Somebody, some genius who's smarter than everybody in this room, who's making more than all of us, ran that fucking campaign. Blew it. Blew it. They didn't, the geniuses didn't see this coming. The lawyers come, they look at the report. Ron Dix, you've been an inspector for 24 years. You know better. How could you have said this? There's accountability. Does anyone in the room know who ran that campaign in Massachusetts? What the hell happened to that guy? They all speed off at the end of the day in their chauffeur limousines back to their gated communities on to the next campaign. It's very much analogous to the American sports model. The coach of the Seattle Seahawks is fired. The coach of the 49ers is fired. Well, who's eligible for that job? Well, the guy was just fired over here. Why? Because he has experience. He's qualified. The media says he's qualified, and we all accept it. He's qualified. He's ran before. He's done it before. He failed before, but he's qualified. And it's the same thing. Who ran that campaign? Hey, he may be the guy running Jerry Brown's campaign, or somebody else in Nevada, or somebody else. Once you're in the club, you always work. You've always got a gig. because everyone accepts. The New York Times says you qualified. Everybody says, and you just, whether you win or lose, the only one who pays is us. These people, they could care less. They're paid their money, they go away. Clint Riley, I remember right here when, with Catherine Brown, she was beating whoever it was, the Republican Pete Wilson, by a whole percentage point. Blew the campaign. Clint Riley got pissed. He walked away. Millionaire, owns a big building downtown San Francisco. Retired. The political consultants, they could care less. We have to take back our system. I don't want to monopolize too much of the time, but I want to say one more thing, since it is Black History Month. Like I said, I'm older. We have evolved into a society where, now everyone pays homage to Martin Luther King and, blah, blah, blah. He was such a great guy and such a great leader, blah, 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 blah. Even the conservatives, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's not forget a couple of things, okay? No one gave a shit when Martin Luther King was being hosed and all the civil rights workers were being hosed down south. No one cared. None of the press, none of the media, none of these people who are pontificating now, trying to pretend, Reagan, none of them said jack shit. It wasn't until Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Bobby Seale started talking about another kind of power that the next thing you know, everyone embraced Martin Luther King. Don't forget that. And it's the same thing with labor. And it's not like I'm advocating for anything to happen, but what I'm saying is until we seize the time and take the hold of our own initiative and move our agenda for ourselves, nobody is coming to save us. No one's going to do anything for us. We can't pray ourselves out of this. We're just going to take action, and it's going to take moving an American electorate that's complacent. In San Francisco here, I'm an indigenous New Yorker. I graduated from Cornell University in 1974. Yes, I am a direct recipient of affirmative action. I stand before you. And I tell you right now, yeah, I could not have duplicated that if I was to go around now. I would never be able to go to Cornell University, but I was one of the few that did. It's just not an accident. We have to look at history and stop making the same mistakes over and over again. We have to hold these people accountable. If we're going to have to examine what has happened here. And if the Democrats aren't going to do what we want them to do, then we need an alternative. Otherwise, all is lost. It's all lost.